And towards the back end of my career, I'd had two knee reconstructions. I was playing reserves footy, a bit of senior footy, but playing a hell of a lot of reserves footy, and understood that it wasn't going to last forever. I was only 26 when this was going on, and I realised I had to do another career outside of footy. And through that 25, 26-year-old period, got involved with the AFL Players Association with Alistair Clarkson, learnt some very valuable skills working with Andrew Demetrio in that space, collective bargaining agreements with the AFL, all of that, which was really stimulating, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that really helped sort of formulate some views on marketing and media. I got a better understanding of it. I didn't have a great feel for that when I was a player, and so it was an invaluable period to be able to step away from the football club environment, still be involved in football, but get a whole new perspective on things outside the game that really made a difference.
Johnny Longmire. Belly won't give it back. Peter Bell said, I want that footy. Well, but cheers of a different kind today for John Longmire.
I was 28 when I retired. I was lucky enough to play in a premiership in my last game, and it was my 200th game, so it was a good time to retire. But it was 28, but it was a pretty easy decision. I was working, I had a great job, working with great people, I was learning all the time, and so it wasn't a hard decision for me. I transitioned into my post-footy career really easily. 96, when I didn't play, he brought me onto the coaching panel, and I had a role in the coach's box on match day, and that's when I first got my first taste of coaching, what it was like. I enjoyed that. Dennis thought I had a role to play with the players and help out with the coaches, and I did that through 96, so I got a bit of a taste of it then. I did a coach's course with David Whedon, who still does them to this day, and so I did that, and that got me thinking about game plans and what you do if you're a coach. But Colin Seary, who was the general manager of the Swans at the time, got in contact with me at one stage during the year and asked me to come down and speak to the Swans players at the MCG about what it's like to play in finals. And so I went down and spoke to them, spoke to the players. The next day, Colin rang me and said, have you ever thought about getting back in the game as a coach? And I think it started from there. I went home and spoke to my girlfriend at that point, my fiance at that point. We weren't married, and we just bought a brand new house in Melbourne. The boxes were in the kitchen, unpacked. It was going to be our forever home. And I walked in and told Shelley that I'd had a phone call, and how would it be if we moved to Sydney? The first time I was exposed to the Bloods culture, as it turned out to be, was we went on a camp in Coffs Harbour at the start of 2003, and went up there, and Ray McLean, who was working at Leading Teams at the time, facilitated a session with the playing group. I think it was Heath James at the time, whose father Max played for the Swans, talked about why don't we sort of put it under the banner of the Bloods, and gave a bit of a history lesson to the players, and it just made sense. The players really believed in it, they bought into it, they drove it, and Ruzi really gave them the keys to what they wanted the football club to look like. He always said, it's not my football club, it's your football club, where do you want to take it? I'm forever grateful. I mean, I was sitting in my office, and Paul walked in on a Wednesday morning at about 6:45 in the morning, and said, shut the door, and he said, look, I'm out at the end of next year. This was halfway through 2009. In the next couple of hours, I was offered the job of taking over as senior coach from Paul, so it happened really quickly. But I was forever grateful that we had a year and a half together.